Coolio testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello there. Welcome back to your internet Muslim. My name is your that one Latino Muslim. How's it going? Hope you guys are doing pretty well. Welcome back. It's been a while since I've done one of these episodes because of school, because I'm somewhat of a perfectionist, and so I really found myself like, okay, I want to make it look nice. I really want to make it look cool, clean, blah, 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 blah. But sometimes, you know what, it just doesn't work out that way. And you just got to be like, okay, screw it. We're just going to go through it. And yeah, we'll see how things go here today. So, welcome to my little abode here. At some point, I will be putting stuff in the background. I got myself a little couch from Amazon because one of my friends here was like, he got one. I was like, you know what? This looks pretty good. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get one. And yeah, that's pretty much that. If you're wondering, like, what are you holding? What do you have the microphone on? So I got okay, I guess if you don't know, my favorite Pokemon is Snorlax. So uh, at this point, I was like, hey, we should try to see if we can collect all those Snorlax cards and especially have them in these like little graded things. So I got this one off an auction, and so it's but you can barely see what it is, but it's from 2023. It's from 151, the set, and so it's a gem mint 10. um you would think that it would be really expensive, but actually it's not. So I was like, yeah, why not? This is pretty cool. So yeah, nice card. Anywho, I was like, I've been trying to put the microphone right here on my chest, but then sometimes it just picks up all my, that kind of stuff. And I was like, nah, we're just gonna hold on with something. And I think there's always something funny when you have like a gimmick. And so I think our gimmick now is just using this card as the microphone holder for this stuff. But anyway, today's episode, nothing really to do with Islam, nothing to do with being a Muslim necessarily, but more, I guess, on the internet side. You know, it's like your internet Muslim, so there should be something regarded to the internet. And today, I want to try to recount my personal relationship with YouTube and every single creator that I remember watching at some point. And so I don't know how long this is going to be, but I want to at least get it all out of my head into a video so that way I can look back and be like, oh, yeah, I did remember that. Or, like, we're going to get older. We're going to feel pretty like, ugh. Things are going to be forgetful. So might as well document it, put it online, see how that goes. So, all right, starting point of my journey of watching YouTube at some point. So I want to say this all started back in 2011, 2012, I want to say, is when I first got introduced to YouTube. Now, at that time, I was not living in the United States, and um, in a country that really didn't have that much internet access, you would have to go to an internet cafe in order to have someone burn music onto a USB or onto your phone. Because what people in my school would do is that they would get get a video or music burned on their phone or on their SIM card or whatever, SD card, and then you would on the play in the playground. What would happen is that people would be putting their phones together, like activating Bluetooth, and send a file through Bluetooth right? Because that was like the thing to do it. Which, by the way, like, doesn't can we not do that now? You know, with the current state of Bluetooth, like if it was able back then, I feel like we should be able to do it now. But alas, so yeah, so people would get some videos and whatnot, and you would watch it. Like we would like all huddle or this like very tall, small screen, if you know, like a Nokia phone or anything like that. Um, you would just huddle and then you would just watch these videos. Some of them great, some of them not, some of them weird. There's always this one specific video that for some reason everybody had, um, which was it's a video, I guess, of uh, someone who works in the morgue performing or like taking off the skin of someone, and like they're doing this and like peeling it or whatever, but like, you know, it's very grainy, blurry, it's like a black and white kind of video. But the thing is that there's a specific like back soundtrack in the background. It's like ooh, ooh. And so it would kind of go on loop, right? But it would just be so scary, and we were like, oh my god, it's so scary, what is that, you know? um because of course in the early days of YouTube, you would have like screamers, right? You have the videos that it would be something super normal, and then out of nowhere you just get jump scared, right? So those kinds of things. But that doesn't really explain the beginning with YouTube. So what ended up happening is that my dad has a laptop that I didn't know he had, because we had the big chunky um, uh, computers. We brought one with us, the one that we had, um, and on that computer, I mean, you couldn't really connect to anything. It was just like by itself. We would mainly use it once in a while to play Freddy Fish, Putt Putt, stuff like that, like those CD interactive games. And then there comes the point where my dad pulls out a laptop out of nowhere. I was like, "Whoa, you got a laptop?" Which I didn't even know what that was at the time. And he pulls out this like USB stick, right? It's a long one, and it's basically a modem stick, right? So inside it has a SIM card that you would find on your phone, but you would connect that, and then you would basically become like an antenna, so you could connect to the internet that way. So, um, yeah, that was like the first time I was like, "Ooh, what is this? This is like the internet, right?" And of course, at that time, what was the most popular thing? Facebook, right? Good old Facebook. You know, just the simple interactions. You're just connecting with people for the sake of connecting with people, catching up. That was that. You remember poking? You got to poke someone? Like that was a thing. Um, so yeah, around that time, got introduced to the internet, and along came, I guess, I was first only in Facebook because I thought that was the only thing that existed. But then there was YouTube, and boy, let me tell you, my gosh, is it getting dark already quickly? But let me tell you, what the earlier days of YouTube, this was, I want to say, the time. This is the era of YouTube where what was like trending or going viral was, I think, in the top. If you went to someone's YouTube channel, they could customize their YouTube channel, so they would have like a different like background or whatever. And that was pretty nice. And then also you could, like, they had the star rating, like 1 to 5 was the rating of the stars. I'm not sure if like buttons and dislike buttons were around that time, but it was somewhere around there. So, I get introduced to that, right? And who are the first people that I see that I remember at that time? We're talking about the beginning of like the OG like YouTubers. So, of course, first things that come to mind, Shane Dawson, Tyler Oakley, Grace Helbig. Um, who else did I find? Oh, PewDiePie, like early PewDiePie. I remember. Um, who Markiplier, like OG him. We had I Justine was big. Jenna Marbles. Um, hmm. Like there's so many. I mean, eventually a little bit later I found Hola Soy Germán, which was basically your like the biggest Spanish speaking YouTuber at the time. So he was like up there with PewDiePie when it came to who had the most subscribers. So I think they were the top ones with like 10 million. Um Eventually, like a little bit later, because like at the beginning, no, that's not the case. Because everyone I think starting out with a million or something like that. But at that time, specifically, what I remember was there was a lot of, again, screamers. Screamers were the thing, and I didn't know what that was. And the only way I remember about it is that around that time, I think, after Michael Jackson had passed away, they made a video. Like there's a news crew that went to his mansion, and apparently in the background you could see like a thing floating, entity floating in the back, right? Um, and so like that's an actual footage. But what someone did, which I didn't know, was that you know there'll be like the crew, it zoom in, and then it's like the blue screen. It'll be like, "Did you see that in the text?" And then it'll like zoom in, and then they're like, "Let's watch that again" or whatever, and then it'll zoom in, like showing, like repeating the scene, right? And then it'll zoom in one more time, and then it's like, I think it's a picture of Michael Jackson in the Thriller um music video, where he kind of looks like very like ooh, old, or kind of like zombie like. So it's just kind of that just pops out with like a scream thing. It's like, "Wah!" And so I was like, oh my god. And so this was happening actually because my I had we had some family friends over, and so it's just me outside with my siblings, my siblings next to me, and then when that jump scare happens, I push the table. Thank God the laptop did not fall off, because I would have been in such deep trouble. Um, but yeah, so that didn't happen, or I got scared from that, and then I was just like shaking the whole time, like, oh my god, like I didn't know that this could happen or whatever. um, and then later on, like once I mustered up the courage to go back into the internet, that's when, for some reason, also animation, like this, like the early stages of animation, but in this case, it would I don't know what people had back in the day. I think I tried to look for this video again, and it just disappeared. Like I think all these videos got flagged or something. But it was Dora the Explorer. And but it was like Dora the Explorer, but they drew her so like half of her face is just like scratched off or whatever. You're looking kind of see whatever. And it's like they're kind of playing like a generic Dora the Explorer episode, but then with the face, just like or whatever, and trying to scare people or whatnot. So I was like, ooh, this is scary. It never really jump scared you. It was just like being creepy for the sake of being creepy, or like a little bit grotesque. So I was like, all right, like this is interesting. But yeah, I think those were like the main ones that I remember like seeing. And mind you, also around this time, I did not know that the Wii had come out. So I only knew that um, the GameCube was like semi recent at that time. Like before I ended up like moving from the US to my parents' our home country. And so I didn't know the Wii U came out at all. I didn't know that or I guess I didn't realize at that point that Barack Obama was president. So I was like, oh yeah, that one. When I came back, I was like, oh yeah, what's up with that? That one white dude. Like, oh, George Bush or George W. Bush. Um, and then it turned out, oh wait, no, it's Obama. So I was like, oh, I see the situation. Um, but yeah. So anyway, so um, moving on from like say that era, like this is like the beginning era. We go on to, I would say, like the people who realize that you could kind of make money out of it and then start doing stuff. You had the early parody people, Bart Baker, I think it was named. Um, you had Paint. He did some videos. I think he was introduced into the scene. Let's see if I can hold on. Let's do that. Just some lighting because it looks a little bit too dark. So then yeah, Paint. This is like the time when like parodies would start showing up. Like I have to bring him up. Shane Dawson. Like I remember watching him and not really understanding the context of behind a lot of his things. Right. I just thought, haha, this be funny. Um, without really understanding, like, oh, boys being controversial. Ooh, right. It took a lot of years later, I think, till like I was close to out of high school when I kind of understood the picture of what was going on here. But yeah, so you had him. There's also like a lot of the parody. Like there was what do you call it? There's a channel like done by two dudes, but then they would have a bunch of different people and they would be singing about different things. Like there was like the Disney princess song, but then there's like the Disney villains. Um, like unboxings came in, but a little bit more later after that. I want to say that genre. But it was the tax, the British invasion. There we go, the British invasion. I remember all the Brits, um, Dan and Phil, Sam Sawyer, uh, Connor Franta, um, the one guy that ended up doing the pranker guy, that Sam Pepper. There we go, that guy who ended up doing some really stupid stuff. Didn't really watch him. Uh, Red and Link, yeah, Red and Link was another good one that was around that time. Hmm. But yeah, so at that point, I think I was watching a lot of like the daily vlog kind of things, skits, and then up the start of some gameplay time. When people started to release videos of gameplay. There's a lot of channels I remember watching for that. And ooh, okay, there was not your average Asian dude. I think his name of his channel was. So with him, he would upload just dance videos. Like the full, like you could kind of do the choreo or whatever. So he helped me, got like thanks to him I was introduced to Just Dance before I actually played it at a cousin's place. Because I got really into Just Dance, and I mean even still now I stay up with the series and everything, like what they do, what kind of songs get released, what's the previews of the choreos and stuff like that. So all that, I was like, all right, this is pretty cool to watch, nice to see. um and yeah, like I don't remember so much about like the changes. Like I knew like they were making it more and more, like there's a point where you could actually message people because of Gmail Plus or G Plus or whatever it's called, the thing that they had at the time. Like they wanted to make a like Google wanted to make a Facebook version of stuff, so you could actually message the people that you liked, the YouTubers and everything. That was an interesting period. um and yeah, I don't know, I think because I was going into like high school, so like SciShow was very big for me. And Mamrie Hart. um who else? I'm really trying to remember here. 'Cause I think I'm pulling out a lot of like the OG stars, the people that you would recognize, and then there's like so many like small people that I watched. Like when we got to the unboxing era of YouTube, with like Loot Crate, there was one girl that I would watch. I think she was Filipino, and I checked not somewhat recently, but a while ago. I checked her channel, and she's still kind of doing some of that stuff. But I just felt really bad for her because I was like, man, she's just like spending all this money on a lot of junk, right? But it was just something at the time that really brought in views. Like just how people right now with the Pop Mart, the blind boxes, like that kind of thing. Back in the day, it was just like that loot box, the loot crate. Um, like I was fascinated by those. I remember getting some of the book ones, some of the art ones, like a lot of those kinds of things. Those were really fun and really nice. I mean, some of the things like I remember reading and really enjoying it. But again, a lot of it is just kind of knickknacks, things you just throw out. It's nothing very um, needed, right? You don't need these things. Um, and then I would say we're moving a little bit forward into. Oh, okay. I remember the prank era, like, or you had like the viral videos, right? So you had the Harlem Shake, you had Cupid Shuffle, you had the mannequin challenge, you had the ALS a bucket challenge, um, clowns when the whole clown thing started happening, like all the kid like the killer clowns, that thing. That was also another big one. What else was really huge during that time? Man, this is where it gets tricky. Where I'm just trying to think, like what was big in these points. Oh, YouTube Rewind. Like every single year, you would have those YouTube Rewind videos, and it was just great to see like all the big creators. Of course, not all creators showed up. And, there's a whole controversy, YouTube, blah blah blah. All that stuff. But in those years, it was really nice to see, like what was up, what did people say, what did people have to think about these things. So it was really nice. Like I enjoyed them. Um, who else was really big? Hmm. But yeah, the British Boy Invasion, and then started with kind of like those longer form videos. Um, Kind of the start of like the documentary slash like video essay people. Um, like side note, like How to Basic. If you don't know, if you don't, have you never seen that channel? Just the guy with the eggs, weird animation. You had Oni Plays, um, like the guys who make Smiling Friends, like those guys were really fun. Aaron Hansen, the guy from Game Grumps, he was also making a lot of like animation videos. Domix, or yeah, Domix. If you remember him, he's like the OG, one of the OG um, story time, like animated story time people. It was him and Swoozy, I believe. Those were the two guys that were coming up with that kind of content, way before like James, Jaden, before like those guys. Who else was good? Oh, Unbox Therapy. Unbox Therapy. The only reason I remember finding out about him was because of he did an unboxing of Random Access, Random Access Memories, Daft Punk. When they released that album, they made a special edition, like vinyl set with a really nice designs. And so that's like my favorite band of all time. And so I was like, yo, this is like the the thing. And back in the day, I remember him, Mr. Who's the Boss. Um, who else was another good big unboxer? Yeah, there was quite a few of them that they're just like coming out, reviewing things that are just, like actually what you'd be interested in, or actually useful, need things that you would need. Before, I guess, unbox therapy now, it just kind of does very expensive, like overpriced things, like, it's kind of like, oh, you wish you would have this, right? And yeah, I'm trying to think who else or what else was going on. Like at this point, I feel like I'm kind of throwing you guys back and forth between like different timelines of stuff. Um, ooh, Sea Nanners. I'm not sure if you remember Sea Nanners for gameplay. He would play TTR in like Gmod, like those kind of stuff, like Vanos Gaming, H2O Delirious, like those guys, like around that era. So then these guys were playing Gmod, a lot of Gmod, because you could make maps, custom maps and whatnot. So that was very fun to see. But C Nanners, I remember he was playing TTR, I think it's called Trouble in. Oh no, TTT, Trouble in that other word town. Just making sure. So that was really fun. Prop hunt. Oh, when Minecraft. Okay, Minecraft. Um, of course, you had the OG Minecraft people. Like I remember watching them, but not really like being so like loving their personalities. I think it was just kind of like it was more the content over their personalities that I found interesting. Um, and so the one guy that was caught kind of saying some stuff, with he had like the scientist sidekick or whatever. Yeah, him. I just like whatever like the mod he was using were interesting. Um, who who else? But I remember specifically when they did the Hunger Games into Minecraft. That was huge. I remember going into some of the servers and like joining, being like, "Ooh, maybe one day I actually will meet these people," in the game. Never, never ended up happening. And it was, of course, mainly because West Coast, East Coast, completely different time zones. So, not much you could do. Um, but yeah. And then at what point did like the houses starting? Like, I mean, I remember 2OL. I didn't watch really any of their content apart from like their collab videos in their own channels. But I didn't know like 2OL was like the big thing. Um, and then, yeah, because I think it was just like 2OL. And then after that, I think it just kind of jumped for me from them to offline TV. Um, and that's how finding Pokimane, Lily Pichu, Skara, like finding those people, like great content creators. Um, and then I think from there, I really kind of bounced off with a lot of different people and just a lot of different content. Like there was a point where I was watching Simply Nail Logical, because she was a girl that would do her nails, like make nail art. She just was an entertaining personality. Like I never once, actually only once have I ever painted my nails, and that was it. And I was like, I don't need it, but like it's fun. Again, it's like their personalities are great. Um, so it was like her. Um, oh my god, I forgot the guy. There's one like creator guy, like, and he would make stuff, but he ended up passing away. I forgot, from a car accident or something. But he was a nice one as well. Oh, slime! When slime was a big thing, yeah, like slime videos. There's a guy that would also do what was it? Dominoes toppling down. He like make all these designs or whatever. So those were pretty fun to watch. Um, and Vine era, actually. Let me go back to Vine era. So this has to be 2017, 2015, 2016, 2017. I think somewhere around there we had the Vine era. So I remember, okay, King Batch was everywhere. King Batch, Lele Pons, um, Quinn. I don't know what that sound was. Quinwell, or Quinlan Blackwell. She was a really fun one at the time. Didn't really get that she was going through it, right? But it was fun. Zach King, the magic guy, illusions guy. Um, who else? Man, I'm trying to remember. There's like so many people. Like I remember like seeing like sure Jake and Logan Paul, but like not not care too much about them. I was like, okay, it was like haha, and then that was it. I think during the Vine periods I was mostly watching comedy. I think that was like the one I found really interesting. And then some dance. But honestly I don't even know what the dance people are up to now. Right? It's like it's been so long. Um Yeah. Oh, of course. Road work ahead. Yeah, sure hope it does. Sure hope it does. OG guy right there. Who else am I forgetting? Like, I think this is the thing. I'm gonna start thinking of like different eras, different times, trying to figure out, what people were doing, in those days. Um, hmm. Oh, okay. So I guess then you would also have like Gundam style. So that period also was pretty huge. What else? Who else am I missing? And like there okay. So there was Louis Taylor. Okay, there's a lot of people that I watched because of Connection. Shane Dawson, right? If anything, I hate to bring back his name, but the people that he hanged out with were so fun. I mean, at least in the first like two eras. I don't know about now, whatever. But you had Drew Monson, you had Garrett Watts, you had Taylor Louise something. I feel so bad for her for the whole situation with her husband, or ex at this point. Who else was there? Lizbug, his ex girlfriend. Um, Shanae. No, Shanae. Is it her name? I forgot her name. Oh my gosh. But that girl, that one, but girl, I always forget what her name was. But then she stopped doing stuff. Um, yeah, there's all that. I did watch like the Jeffree Star era, I guess. That stuff. James Mansfield, like these people. Yeah, sure, I watched them at some point. Do I regret it now? Yeah. It's like too messy. Bretman Rock, just kind of his stuff. I'm like, I'm just trying to get out, not trying to deal with the drama. I'm like, hey, good for him. Good that he's doing that. Who else? Um, yeah, there's so many people. So many people, so little time. Can't remember everybody. There's, I think overall, what I really enjoyed about YouTube is just like the different eras. You could really find anything, and that's why for me, YouTube is just like my site for entertainment, for knowledge, for everything. Like I don't pay any subscription service. I don't have any other subscription service. Like I don't care about Netflix. Don't care about Hulu, whatever. Like sure, movie shows, but like, I'm I'm not for that. Um, I really like a lot of different other stuff. Like always do something new, which I guess you could do that with those shows and whatnot. Oh, okay. No, I just remembered. Okay, the list people, so Watch Mojo. Um, Specifically, I remember Tats Top Gaming or Tats Top Games. So they would always do very creepy like lists of like the top 10 whatever things, and they're always like SCP. Like if you knew the SCP Foundation, like that kind of like creepy pasta kind of stuff, that era, like that group of people were like the ones channel you would watch. Um, and then Pink Stylish is a guy who would make he dress up as like uh different horror creatures and whatever. Um, man, who else? Nuke's video, like Omegle, like Omegle pranking videos, like that stuff as well was like a really good one. Who else? What else? I'm trying to see. Like I'm see, this is the thing. Like slowly, I'll make connections to other things, to other like eras, kinds of videos that I was watching. Um, yeah, but I do remember for what I do remember for Tats Tots Gaming was like this video contains jump scares, loud noises, and something else. Viewer discretion advised. Like that was like the whole like robotic voice that would come out from that. I've checked; they haven't really posted much. I think they've kind of slowly given up. That because it was like a conjunctive, or like it's a group of people that were like doing together, making these things. Um, oh, fine, bros. Despite their stupidness of wanting to try to, trademark the word react and reaction style videos, it was thanks to them that, being introduced to things like Vocaloid, introduced to, I guess, more social justice like ideas, um, like the one video of the girl who, that stuff. Um, just kind of be aware of these kind of situations that could happen on the internet. Um, if you ever remember, I guess especially in the U.S., there's that one commercial that would play around like 7, I think, at night, where it's like a kid who's like watching his TV and he's like very focused on it, but then there's all these like tentacle branches are starting to come in or whatever, and like, oh no, I think he's on his computer or something, and then like these things are starting to show up, and then like he just looks around and they're all gone or something because he's like so enamored with whatever, and it says like it's whatever, do you know what your kids are watching or something like that. I think that was the whole like ad, like be careful parents what your kids are watching at late night, so those were some of the stuff that I remember for that. um or I guess that's related to like the scary stuff or whatnot. um what else? Like I'm aware like there's like the marble racing stuff. Okay Go, if you know that music group, when they made their elaborate videos, those were really nice to see. Um huh. Like I guess I already mentioned like the fallout with the beauty industry and all that stuff. Um what else was really big? Okay, so I had to look back here, like check up some stuff. Of course, you had JonTron, Rooster Teeth. I remember them. I think they did. Rooster Teeth was fine, but I think I became more. I started to like more Funhouse. I think Funhouse was a lot more fun, like more entertaining. Their content. It sucks that they got rid of them because they were really good. Corridor Digital. Um, like the animated like Charlie, the llama things. I remember that. Salad Fingers. Ray William Johnson, I really didn't care about him to be honest. Happy Tree Friends, yes, I do remember that. Yeah, yeah, Dan TM, Dan Dan Dynamite Minecraft, whatever, or TDM, Captain Sparkles. Yep. KSI, didn't really care much about him. Nanners. College Humor, of course, things I shouldn't be watching, but I thought they were pretty funny, even though I wouldn't get 100% all the references. Cryotics. Hmm. Yeah, there's so many people. Yeah, Ola Soherman, Jacksepticeye, Jack's Films, Rosanna Pansino. I remember those early Rosanna Pansino videos. Those are really fun. Filthy Frank, I found him much more later than than anything. Nogla, Corridor Digital. I do remember watching some Corridor Digital stuff right there. Oh, also that BuzzFeed era. That BuzzFeed era was really good. You know, BuzzFeed really kind of screwed over their people because they're like, "Oh yeah, we want to do money over anything else." I'm like, "Hey guys, like you have the talent. You had the talent. You could have taken care of these people. You actually would have focused on them. Like not making these binding contracts with not let them really do what they want to do. You know, they could have done so much more. But I'm glad to see that they're at least kind of out there doing new things, doing stuff that they like. So definitely there's all that stuff. Hmm. But yeah, so many people here. I'm trying to see. Oh, Kingsley. Um. Yeah, this, I'm just looking at all these people right now. Bethany Moda. I remember my siblings and my cousins loved Bethany Moda. They just loved her. Um. Alley Days. Yeah, Tom Sawyer. Ooh, my gosh. All the it's like the British invasion once again. It's like really fun stuff. But anyway, I think I should wrap it up here because it's getting already too dark, even though it's not really. But this camera is making it seem like it's much more darker. But yeah, overall, YouTube has changed a lot. Definitely not for so much the best. I really wish that the algorithm would actually promote more people. Like, sure, they kind of promote people like randomly. Like, you'll sporadically be like scrolling and you'll find a person like a video with like 7 views or whatever. So that means it's like a smaller channel because they're saying, hey, this is gonna help push them. But really, is it going to? I have no idea. I really wish that they would bring back more of the social aspect, like engagement that used to exist back in the day. Of course, certain things can't really be done because of you know the interaction with minors and stuff like that. Like that, of course, should be more in present. And one thing is for sure, I will never ever let my child watch YouTube Kids because that place is terrible, pure garbage, nothing that is actually and like educative, informative. I would rather just show them all of like PBS, all like those earlier kid shows. Like that is much more valuable than whatever random like Coco Melon thing that's coming out. Like no, that isn't it. That ain't it. So unless somehow YouTube could really just like get rid of all that stuff. But even so, then surprisingly, regular YouTube is so much more better than whatever mess that they're doing with YouTube Kids. So don't ever show them to that to them. And I guess very last thing, I guess, to end this show episode is that also thanks to YouTube, kind of seeing some of the Muslim creators, Muslim content. There's quite a few content creators. Yusuf Truth. You had like Kim Daoud. Omar Suleiman. The other guy. There's quite a few. Like, there's a lot of people that I would stumble upon, and I was like very inspired by the content. As someone who was like very fairly new at the time. Just trying to find my pacing, and you just kind of see um, what it how is it that people are living their life and everything that really made a good impact on me, I guess. And I put myself here as that one Latino Muslim because honestly there's not that many of us in an online space that are just kind of like chill and not doing something really stupid. So not saying that there's someone who's actually doing something stupid, I'm just saying it for the sake of saying it. So yeah. So anyway, that is that. I hope you guys found memory lane here with all my rambling. Hopefully next time I won't be doing it when the sun is starting to go down, so it doesn't become this whole weird thing. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video and the episode, I guess, of the podcast. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like, subscribe, maybe leave a comment. Who did you watch when you were a kid or younger? Who do you watch now? What kind of like niche content do you like to watch? That is good, of course, appropriate or whatnot. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Salam alaikum. Take care. Bye. Yeah.